welcome to the Eyes Open Network. There's a lot going on today. I couldn't pick one story, so I'm going to do a recap of everything that seems to be happening around the world right now. I do believe that there's a lot of jockeying, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and if you're not paying attention, the repercussions are going to catch you by surprise. Something as simple as Iran releasing photos of crying soldiers on social media. I'm not even sure why they would go ahead and do that, other than to poke the bear. Iran seems to be flexing their proverbial muscles ever since sanctions have been lifted a couple of weeks ago. Things like North Korea's execution of their army chief of staff. North Korea has been in the news as of late for their rocket launches and complete disregard for pretty much anybody globally. They had a satellite that flew over the Super Bowl near the end of the game. All kinds of crazy stuff going on in North Korea. They just keep trying to isolate themselves, seems like, which is not good news for anybody. As for the Middle East, we got all kinds of good stuff going on there too. Turkish President is chastising the U.S. over the support of the Syrian Kurds. He says the U.S.'s lack of understanding of the Kurds' true nature has caused a, quote, sea of blood. He was also quoted as asking, "Are you on our side or the side of the terrorist PYD and PKK organizations?" Just to remind you, Turkey is a NATO ally, so the concept is that the U.S. and Turkey should be on the same side of the fence, fighting the same war, so to speak. And I know that I've had some people make comments on some of the videos about regarding Russia and China and the U.S. Make no bones about it. If you don't understand how this works, then you should really do some homework. Russia is not part of NATO. China is not part of NATO. All the other NATO countries are on the opposite side of any real fence. So when we refer to the West versus Russia, China, it's all the NATO countries. So let's be clear. There's been some pretty interesting comments been made in the on the videos recently regarding some who's supporting who and who's fighting for who and who's doing what. Lines are being drawn, and you need to know who's on paper supposed to be on the same page, which is what is going to end up being the catalyst for something huge. The Syrian Rebels are demanding that the U.S. take action to stop Russia's bombing raids. They're, again, the Syrian Rebels, who are supposed to be the people that... Oh, sorry, sorry about that. We had a video start playing on my laptop here. Syrian Rebels demanding U.S. take action to stop Russian bombing raids. That's where we were at. Because as you are aware, and this ties in with the Turkish President, questioning the U.S.'s, role, is what exactly is the U.S. supporting? Are they supporting the terrorists within the Middle East to help further their agenda in the Middle East? Or are they actually trying to stop ISIS, which is what they say they're trying to do? Well, according to the Syrian Rebels, which are supposed to be part of the U.S. team, they're not doing enough to help slow the Russian bombings. Speaking of NATO, NATO is also agreeing on they came together and agreed on a new Russian deterrent to avoid the Cold War bases of the past. And this is in an effort, so they're deploying troops. The British military is deploying troops over into Eastern Europe in an effort to dissuade another Crimea situation of 2014, where Russia flexed its muscles and took up shop in Crimea. So there's a lot of positioning going on. And then something else I thought was very interesting, and I would consider it big news, is that U.S. and India are partnering up to perform joint patrols in the South China Sea. Likely this will anger Beijing, of course, because they think that they own pretty much all the water there. And the tensions have continued to rise over Beijing's construction in the Spratlys Islands of that massive military base. If you're not familiar with this Spratlys Island military base that China is building, do some research. Do a little. The amount of work that China has done in the last couple of years is staggering. And they don't want anybody anywhere near it. They don't want anybody looking at it. They don't want anybody talking about it. You don't do that unless you have something that you want to hide from other people, which is I'm creating the largest military base, unsinkable battleship on the planet so that I can run my entire military off of it and not put my city at risk. It's not a terribly silly idea if you have big plans, long-term big plans, so that when the attacks come to slow the China offensive, they can't go to the mainland of China. They're going to have to go after that Spratlys Island. So, needless to say, there's a lot going on over there too. And India has never actually performed any joint patrols with any other country. They have they've done some testing and some mock missions with the U.S. in the Indian Ocean, but they've never actually been taken an active role. And this is now something new for them to be doing joint patrols, or to start doing joint patrols in the South China Sea. So there's a lot going on. A lot going on. From Iran releasing photos to NATO agreeing that they need to shore up their military presence on the eastern side of Europe so that Russia doesn't decide to do something silly over there. But you need to understand something, especially if you had some confusion in your comments previously, that NATO and NATO countries are not on the same side as Russia and China. So when we talk about things happening and people poking sticks through the caged animal, I mean, Russia and China are not on the same page. Those are the superpowers that we're dealing with. China's long-term plan has yet to be revealed, and I'm thinking that it's like global domination. So how about we watch out for that? All right, it's the Eyes Open Network. This has been a recap. I hope that you enjoyed it, and look up any one of these stories. You'll find the information. You'll be able to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Let's hear some more comments down below. Let's see if we can get this figured out. NATO versus the other part of the world. West versus the East. Take care. Have yourself a good day.